Yeah, it takes it out of you.
Okay. We'll learn about Purim today. And if we get a quorum for tomorrow, we'll continue tomorrow, which will be even harder to wake up tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways, the first time the Alter Rebbe, after the Alter Rebbe passed away, Purim came around, and somebody read the Megillah. So usually the Alter Rebbe would read it, so this year somebody else read it. And the Mittler Rebbe, the son of the Alter Rebbe, after hearing it, he gave him a tip. He gave him a tip for the read, and says, "Why you gave him so much tip?" He says, "Wow, you didn't hear the story? It was an amazing story, crazy story." He says, "But you hear every year. It's not like it's a new story." He says, "Yes." So when the Alter Rebbe read it, it was incredible, but it was in a different level. This was a lower level, and I saw the story in a different light. Anyways, I was about to give a tip yesterday to the Balkoya because we are used to Barry, but no tip. All right, we're going to see that Esther Hamalka was a real diplomat. Even though today we are trying to destroy Persia with bombs from the air, she was able to do it as a diplomat, as we're going to see. And they asked the famous Henry Kissinger if he could give an example of amazing diplomacy. He says, yes. He says, how can you make Rockefeller marry his daughter to a Russian peasant? Why would Rockefeller marry his daughter to a Russian peasant? You're crazy. Morning. Says, first you go to Russia and you find a Russian peasant. You ask him, do you want to marry Rockefeller? Sorry, do you want to marry an American girl? Me, an American girl? I'm a Russian peasant. I don't know anything. Yeah, but she's Rockefeller's daughter. Okay. If he agrees, I'm in. All right. Then he goes to Switzerland, to a Swiss bank that's looking for a new CEO. And I told him, do you want a Russian peasant as your new CEO? A Russian peasant? Are you crazy? The CEO of a Swiss bank? Yeah, but he's Rockefeller's son-in-law. Oh, then in that case, yes. Then he goes to Rockefeller. Rockefeller, do you want to marry your daughter to a Russian peasant? Are you crazy? A Russian peasant? Yeah, but he's the CEO of this Swiss bank. In that case, of course, let's do it. But then the daughter starts complaining. What? I don't want to marry another bank CEO. Says, don't worry, he's a Russian peasant. And everybody was happy, at least with the wedding. No, I don't know what happened afterwards, but this is a good example of diplomacy. So we have the story of Purim, where King Achashverosh is the king of 127 nations. I don't know what that looks like. I don't know if they were very small. Like the Emirates, they have like tiny little countries. Maybe it was like that. He does a party for 180 days. We get all kinds of details of that party, and then he does 7 more days for Shushan because 180 days wasn't enough. And he gives ish ve'ish, every person whatever he wants, and he tries to bring Vashti to show off her beauty. She had to come naked, but she had some leprosy at that point. She didn't agree, and Achashverosh ends up killing her with the Eitzah, with the I need my Spanish translator.
Say it in Spanish.
With the suggestion of his minister, yeah, gave him advice, the advice of his minister. And then they look for a new queen, and they find Esther. She wins, but they don't know she's Jewish. And then Bitachon and Teresh are planning to kill the king, and Mordechai hears this. They don't realize he hears this because they don't think he speaks their language. And then he lets the king know through Esther, and they kill Bitachon and Teresh, and they write in the book of remembrances what he did. And Haman is the second in command, and he has everything except that there's a Jew who won't kneel to him. Everything else he has, and that's like really enrages him that I have everything, but this Jew won't bow down to him. But I can't just kill him. I need to kill all the Jews. That's how I quench my thirst for revenge. So he convinces Achashverosh to kill all Jews in one day, and he's going to give him 10,000 silver coins. They let the whole kingdom know. After they do a lottery, there's going to be on the 13th of Adar. The Jews are not very happy, and they're almost sitting Shiva. Mordechai tells Esther, you have to intercede. Says, what can I do? The king hasn't called me for a month. If I go without permission, he can kill me. Says, don't think because you're the queen, you're going to escape the decree. They're going to kill you too. And if you don't do something, you're going to be killed, but somebody else will do something. And who knows if this is the whole reason why you became the queen of Persia. So she says, okay. They fast for 3 days. She went. The king found favor in her eyes and let her touch his scepter. And it's all good. So she invites him, please come with Haman for a banquet. They come to the banquet. My love, what do you want? I'll give you half the kingdom. All I want is for you and Haman to come to another banquet. Okay. Haman goes out. We're going to hear this now, but we need the context to go. Haman leaves very happy, but he sees Mordechai and he gets home. I have everything, but what about this guy and his family? His wife says, just build a gallows and hang him. Go talk to Achashverosh. You hang him tomorrow morning, and you'll go to the feast very, very happy. Okay. So he does that, but that night the king can't sleep, and they bring the Sefer, the book of remembrances, and they read about Mordechai. Did we repay him? We didn't. Haman shows up, and he ends up asking Haman what should he do to someone he owes, and he says, parade him around in your clothes and your horse, and that's what he has to do. And then he wasn't happy going to the second banquet. And he get this second banquet, and the king asked Esther, what do you want? What do you need? I want you to give me my life and my people's life, because they want to exterminate us. If I would have heard that Jews want to sell us as slaves, I would have stayed quiet. But for 10,000 silver coins, dude, you could make more money by selling us as slaves. So I don't agree with this. Who is this guy? Haman. Oh, their king goes out. Haman tries to plead with her. When the king comes back, he thinks Haman is trying to do something more intimate, and Haman is killed. Mordechai becomes the second in command. The queen asks Achashverosh to take out the decree. He says, I can't. Once I make a decree, it's done. But you can make a new decree. They make a new decree that the Jews can defend themselves, and people start getting scared about it. And eventually, the 13th of Adar happens. We win the war. The war extends itself in Shushan for a 14th, but we celebrate on the 14th and the 15th. Okay. This is, in 7 minutes, the story of Purim. But to understand the story of Purim, we can just read the story and it's just a story. But we don't understand, why did Achashverosh couldn't sleep that night? Why did the queen make 2 banquets? Just make one. We need to make 2 banquets. So there's some weird decisions here that you hear the story enough every year. It's okay, this is the story. But you don't realize what is going on behind the scenes. And to understand what's going on behind the scenes, we need to understand the characters. Achashverosh himself was a very low self-esteem guy. He was very indecisive. He didn't trust himself because he was a stable boy. That Vashti was the daughter of the previous king. He used to be a stable boy. They fell in love or whatever, they got married, and now he felt inadequate all the time. He felt like I can't make my own decisions, so he was paranoid. That's why he had to make a party for 187 days. It wasn't enough to make a 2-day party, a 10-day party. No, because I have to show that I'm good, that I'm this, that I'm big, and it wasn't enough. And that's why he was so mad when Vashti didn't come down. He says, after all I just did, you're gonna not do what I do, and I'm gonna lose, and nobody's gonna believe me, and nobody's gonna trust me, so I need to kill her. And so they had to kill Vashti Amalka just because one of his friends told him to kill her. And then he killed that friend because of his second wife. No, he was always just following other people's orders. He was manipulated by Haman very easily with the decision to kill all the Jews. Obviously, the plan of Bigtan and Teresh to kill him, which was true, it wasn't paranoia, didn't help his paranoia. Because you see, it's not a conspiracy theory. They are trying to kill me. They don't trust me. And in fact, when Haman offers to kill these people, why did he accept? He didn't care about the money. He said, what? There is a people all over my kingdom. They do something different. Oh, no, this is not good for me because I'm very insecure. You just kill them. I don't need money. Just go ahead. Solve that problem for me. If you pay me, it's like a cherry on top. I don't need the money. Just go kill them. That sounds terrible. That sounds like bad. And that is Achashverosh. He's an indecisive king. Say that Stalin was very similar. He was very paranoid. And in fact, they say that at some point he killed his wife, Stalin, because he thought she was going to poison him. And he was poisoned at the end, or not. I have another class about that. The Rebbe had his hand in there. Anyways, that is Achashverosh. Then you have Haman. Haman is an egomaniac. He thinks he's the center of the universe. He's as greedy as you can get. He wants to be the owner of the whole world. So even though if he has everything, Mordechai, you're not bowing down, you're messing up. Because my objective is 100% domination. 99% is not enough. My whole day is destroyed. I can't enjoy anything I have if I see Mordechai. And it's just, as they say, Haman min Torah minayin. Where do we find Haman in the Torah? And they bring a pasuk, Hamina eitz, talking about the tree of knowledge that you couldn't eat, that Adam and Chava couldn't eat. It says, just like Haman, if he didn't have everything, he felt he had nothing. So Adam and Eve had everything. They had the whole planet to themselves. I don't know how many trees there were, but just one tree they couldn't touch. You don't have one tree, I don't have anything. I need that tree. So it's just like the same kind of philosophy, and it's hinted at the word, because the Torah says Hamin ha'etz, which is like Haman. Again, he took advantage of Achashverosh, as we said, because he was very insecure. And this was the same reason why, because Haman was also feeding the paranoia. That's why even the queen couldn't go see the king if she wasn't called. I mean, that doesn't sound like a normal kingdom. A normal kingdom, the queen can come talk to the king. No, if the king doesn't call me, then I can die unless he puts his scepter towards me. So what kind of, we've never seen that done by any king. But he was paranoid, and Haman was, don't trust anyone. Of course, he saw the queen, and he was happy to see her. But the fact that law was in place, that was a problem. So this is the context. And Esther, she's no fool. She's there. She understands who Achashverosh is. She understands who Haman is. So she devises a plan. Once Mordechai convinces her, this is you. Who knows if this is why you're here? You need to do this. Okay, fast for 3 days, and then I'm going to go talk to the king. She realizes that this could be the purpose of her life. And they say one lady asked a rabbi, why do we celebrate Purim with so much strength and happiness? And nobody's thinking about Esther. After the miracle of Purim, where was Esther? She was still married to Achashverosh, to this guy, to this insecure, paranoid, non-Jewish, crazy king. Shouldn't we at least dedicate a few minutes of silence for poor Esther? The rabbi answered, says, imagine there's a woman who has a chance to marry the leader of Germany in 1938, Yimach Shemam. And she could have avoided She could have saved one Jew, let alone 1,000,000 Jews. Do you think she wouldn't be celebrating even though she was married to that guy the rest of her life? If she had... Esther was celebrating, it was fine. There's no need to feel sad for her. Okay, so Esther understands the whole picture. Says, I can't just go tell Achashverosh, save me, and that's it. He's not going to trust me. He's just going to kill me. He's paranoid. He's not going to have any compassion. I'm going to become the enemy if I just go tell her I'm one of the Jews. Please save me. I can't just do that. And so she invites the king to a banquet in his honor. And he accepts. A banquet in my honor? I have low self-esteem. That sounds good, right? If you have low self-esteem, somebody invites you, I'm making a party in your honor. And I'm bringing your more trusted advisor, Haman. Okay, let's go. Let's go. Okay. He goes to the banquet. What do you want? And they invite them to another banquet. But you have to read the words. For the first banquet, she says, Yavo melech veHaman el mishteh asher asiti lo. The king and Haman should come to a banquet that I'm making for you, for the king. The second time she says a very similar words. Yavo melech veHaman el mishteh asher e'aseh lahem. The king and Haman should come for a banquet I'm making for both of you. She changes the wording. Now she's not making a banquet for the king. She's making a banquet for the king and for Haman. And Achashverosh says, yeah, I'll come. Well, what? Why are you making a banquet for Haman? He's asking in his mind, what's going on? Haman is super happy. The queen is making a banquet in my honor. He wants to have 100% of everything. He leaves happy. The paranoid king says, is Esther and Haman having something? Are they together? Are they planning to overthrow the government and he becomes the king and he takes my queen? So what happens that night? He can't sleep. He's paranoid. He can't sleep. And all he can think about is this. And Haman told me to kill Vashti. And now he's going to take the... Oh my gosh. Anyways. So Esther had done most of what she needed to do. Time is it? Still have 3 minutes? Yeah. Almost done. And the king says, maybe there's somebody I owe that I didn't pay back, and that's why this is happening. People don't appreciate me. Bring the book of remembrances. And of course they find, yes, there's a case. Mordechai. Oh, I need to repay him. I need to repay him. Of course, then the Ashkacha Pratit that Hashem makes Haman be the one to do, that wasn't in Esther's official plan. But everything was set already. Haman came to the second banquet. Achashverosh's paranoia is 1,000%, but his paranoia is focused on who? On Haman. And once she reveals that Haman wants to kill her and his Haman, that seals the deal. So she elevated Haman all the way up she could. So now she could make him fall flat in his face harder. And she fed the paranoia of Achashverosh until it was so easy for them then to have him kill Haman and save all the Jews. This is the story of Esther the diplomat. But for us, we have to make sure we learn not, of course, Haman and Achashverosh are extremes, examples of people who are egocentric or who are insecure. But we could have a little bit of insecurity like Achashverosh and make not very smart decisions. Or we could be a little egocentric sometimes, a little bit like Haman. And we have to learn from them both, not to be like that, not to invent things that don't let us sleep at night from our loved ones. Know that Hashem has a purpose, there's a way, there's a Hashgacha Pratit working its way. And if the Yetzer starts to attack, we need to turn him around with Kedusha, and we can't let him tempt us to do something negative right now. That's just another perspective on the story of Purim.